Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Ella. Thank you so much for joining me today on this tutorial video or educational video with you. On this channel, I share tips, tricks, and everything you need to know about digital fundraising and how to leverage digital media for your nonprofit organization. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you how exactly you can create your nonprofit content strategy. And it's important to note that having a content strategy is very important for your nonprofit organization because it will help you achieve so many things in quick time. So let's get straight into it. What are the objectives of what I'm going to be sharing with you today? First off, you're going to understand the importance of having a content strategy. You're also going to learn the steps to creating a successful content strategy. You're going to also see how I'm creating a content strategy for a sample nonprofit organization. I'm going to show you a template. Also, at the end of this video, there's going to be a link to templates that you can download and just adapt for your nonprofit organization. So, without talking too much, let me get straight into this because I have so much to share with you today. Okay, so what is a content strategy? It's basically a strategic plan that guides the creation and publication plus distribution of high quality content for your organization. It also ensures that your content is aligned with your mission, your vision, and your goal as an organization. So all of this put together is contained in one singular document that guides everything that you have to do depending on the goal of your nonprofit organization. It can help you increase visibility, build your brand awareness, drive engagement, and also help you achieve your fundraising goals. Most especially if your goal is to raise funds using whatever channel or platform that you want to leverage on. So, how exactly can you create this document or come about this strategy for your nonprofit organization? I'm going to be sharing with you in a few steps how to do this. The very first thing to do is to define your audience. So, who exactly are you trying to reach with the message, with the content that you want to be sharing across these platforms? You need to be able to identify who your target audience is, what they do, the platforms that they like to gather on or they like to get information from, their age, their gender, location, their interests and behaviors. Most especially, you need to know the categories, the groups of people that you're trying to reach out to. Are they Gen Zs? Are they baby boomers? Are they what kind of people? You need to know these people and know them in depth. How can your content provide value to them? You need to think about this and know how your content can provide value to these people so that you can meet them at the point of their need with your message. So you want to ensure that as a non-profit, you are not just taking from people, your supporters, your donors, your volunteers, your partners. You're also giving something to them so that it's a beneficial relationship and not just a one-way thing. So how old is this person? You need to have a persona. That's what we call it, a persona. You need to give them a name. For example, you say Ella is 28. Ella is a lady or Ella is a female. Ella lives in Cyprus. Ella is, that kind of thing. You need to identify who exactly you are trying to reach out to. And I have a sample content, target audience, sorry, template that we always use for people that come across our organization. And you can see it's very simple. Description, first of all. So you're going to be describing this person. Who is this person? Give us the name, the profession, the income range of this person. So how much does this person earn? If your target audience is for your is are people who you want people to donate to your organization, you need to know how much they earn for them to be able to give to you. So all of these little information is very important for your nonprofit organization. So there are different categories of audiences. We have the beneficiary audience or the supporters audience, like I like to call them. We have the donor target audience. We have the volunteer target audience. We have the partner and the collaborators or sponsors target audience. You need to know what part or what category of audience you're trying to reach out to with your content based on your goal. And we're going to come to goal very quickly. But then their name, their profession, their income, their age, location, what they care about, their preferred mode of communication, their preferred social channel. So, what platforms are they usually on? If you're looking for donors, LinkedIn will be where you want to start from, because there you're going to be meeting with decision makers, you're going to be meeting with the top guys in the game. More serious platform. Everyone is very professional, so that's where you may want to be. If you want to reach out to volunteers, you may consider Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, depending on your goal, and the channel that you think your target audience frequent more often. That's where you want to be. Then, how exactly do you want to find them? So, where do you find them? What's the strategy to finding them? What is the kind of content that appeals more to them? You need to know these things about your target audience so that you can tailor your content to suit them. So, the next step, or step two, of creating your content strategy is to set goals and objectives. Now, this is where a lot of nonprofits get it wrong. Setting goals, you set very huge, big, area audacious goals, and it's great that you're setting your big goals like that, but it's important that we're being specific, we're being smart, we're being strategic with our goals. So, you need to set goals that are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So each of your goals have to be time bound and very realistic. If you have never raised $1 million before as a small nonprofit, it's not, you can't even start from that point. You need to start small first before you expand your fundraising goal, if that's what you want to achieve with your content. So, what do you want to achieve with your content? Do you want to increase your website traffic? Do you want to raise awareness? Do you want to educate the public? Do you want to increase donations? Or you want to get people to sign up to a monthly giving program? Or you want to get people to volunteer with your organization? What exactly is the goal of your content? You need to know what you want to achieve. And I would advise that you keep your goal to at least two, maximum three. Three is too much, but let it be a maximum of three goals you want to achieve. You want to raise awareness, educate the public, increase donations, and three of them are even enough. So, what exactly are the goals? You need to write that down and identify specific SMART goals. So, for example, you would say we want to raise awareness about sickle cell in Nigeria at the end of 6 months. So, that is more specific. It has a time frame attached to it, because now you can begin to track your progress at the end of 6 months and see what worked and what didn't work. So the next stage of the content strategy creation is to conduct a content audit. Now, a lot of you, when you've identified your target audience, your goals, you forget to do this part. Now, a content audit is very important because it helps you evaluate what is going on, what is going wrong, and how you can make that better. So you are able to evaluate your current content, identify your opportunities and the gaps that are there that you need to fill, and also determine the most effective types of content for your nonprofit organization. So, evaluating the current content. What kind of content do you have on your website, on your social media? What kind of content have you been sharing via email, on your blog section of your website, and all of that? You need to go and look at it and see, um, is it performing well? What kind of content was performing well? What kind of content was not performing well? What was the engagement with that? What are the opportunities and gaps in our industry or in our field? So, for example, you see that you're trying to create awareness and educate people about the work that you do. Is there an opportunity for you to create more video based content as a nonprofit to educate people? That might be an opportunity you want to look at. What are the gaps, no frequency in sharing or churning out the content that you have. You need to identify this gap and say, okay, this is what we want to do better going forward. So, what are the most effective types of content? Is it memes? Is it infographics? Is it videos or pictures? What type of content did you think or did you see was performing well? What topics are most relevant to your target audience? So what kind of information do your target audience prefer to see? how do they prefer to come or to get this content particularly. So do people prefer them in blog posts form, long form content, or they prefer it in video form content? You need to identify all of this, conduct your audit. This will help you in the next stages that we're going to cover. So, moving on, we have the next step, which is to develop a content plan. So, when you have identified your goals, target audience, you've developed you've done a full, sincere, comprehensive content audit. I say sincere because you need to actually tell yourself the truth when you're carrying out a content audit. So, you've done all of this. The next step will be to create a content plan. So, in creating a content plan, you're going to be looking at the types of content, you're going to identify the platforms, you're going to be um, looking at based on your previous findings and the data you've been able to collect from your content audit. You will now be able to say, okay, these are the kinds of content we now want to start putting out. So videos, infographics, blog posts. You might decide that you want to create blog posts once a week, social media posts once a month, depending on what consistency is for your organization. You want to create a plan that you would stick to. So ideally, I would advise that you create content, um, put out content on social media 3 times a week. That's like a starting point for a nonprofit organization. For your blog posts, you maybe have to do that twice a month. A starting point again. So determine what consistency is for you based on your available resources, the time, and the resources available to you. Like I said before, resources available to you, the time, the team, yes, available to your organization. This will help you to determine the ideal content plan for your nonprofit organization. So you can put this into a calendar and say, okay, every month we're going to be sharing 2 new email newsletters, we're going to be sharing 3 blog posts, we're going to be sharing this. Just put that in a calendar and maybe include people who are responsible for it. That way, you're going to have people um, um, accountable to your nonprofit or to your cause as you go on. So the next step is to create a content calendar, and that is very simple. You can use different platforms to create a content calendar. You can use Excel sheets. Some people prefer to use Trello. Some people Asana, depending on what you prefer to use. But what I would always advise is start small, especially for a nonprofit organization that is not so techy. You don't have all the technical know-how for your nonprofit. It would be great to just start small, start simple. So you can easily use Google Sheets. Google Sheets is very simple to use. That's what I also use, and it helps you sort of color code it so that you can see what's going on with your calendar. So in the description of this video, you would also see a sample content calendar template that you can adapt for your nonprofit. Very simple to use. And I think also on this channel, I have shared a video on how to create a content calendar for you. So you could also check that out. So the next step would be to create and distribute your content. So you have created a content plan. You're now going to have to go down to creating the captions, creating the designs, creating everything that needs to go out for that content that you have put together. So how are you going to distribute it? You're going to be developing a content plan based, a content, distribution calendar based on your plan. So this is very similar to what we had before, the content plan, how, at what period, at what times you're going to be churning out this content. Very, very, very important. This helps people remain accountable to what they're doing and helps people know what to do at every point in time. Finally, the last step to creating a content strategy is to evaluate and adjust. So what are the metrics you want to track? Now your goal is to increase your monthly giving, um, people who subscribe to your monthly giving program. So the goal you want to track maybe website clicks, how many people you've been able to get at the end and all of that. But then you need to be very specific in the metrics you want to track. So some metrics can be your website traffic, your monthly donations, if your goal is to raise more funds, your social media engagement. For emails, it can be click-through rates, and all of that. So depending on the data you are getting from all of these every month or every quarter, you can begin to adjust your strategy and improve on the future content that you're churning out on every platform. So these are the very few steps you need to create a content strategy. And like I said, it's very simple. It's not anything you need to go overboard with. It's something you can just create in at least 3-4 hours in one sitting. So let's look at a sample of what this would look like in practice. So if we're supposed to create, I have a sample here, an example for a nonprofit organization that aims to increase awareness about sickle cell and attract monthly donors for their monthly giving program. So this content strategy basically is helping the organization to achieve their goals um, through content. So the target audience are individuals who are affected by sickle cell disease, their families, caregivers, and individuals who are interested in supporting the sickle cell community. So they have identified their target audience in very simple, put together terms. And then we have the goals and objectives to increase awareness and attract monthly donors. So you're seeing now the goals are very, very specific. Well, we hope to increase website traffic by 20% in the next 6 months. So increase website traffic by a measurable time. Increase monthly donors by 15% in the next 12 months. Increase social media engagement by 25% in the next 6 months. So you see, very strategic, 12 months, 6 months. It is ideal that your strategy spans across a long period of time, not necessarily long, but then 6 months will be an ideal starting point because you cannot know the efficiency or the results you're able to get from a strategy within a short period of time. So you need to have tested this for at least 6 months to 12 months to see how effective your strategy is. So the next part of their strategy is a content plan. So their content plan includes a monthly blog post about sickle cell and how the organization is helping, social media posts highlighting the giving monthly giving program and the impact of donors, email newsletters, fundraising campaigns, video content. Now they have told you what exactly they want to be putting out. How do they want to put it on what platforms? Website and blog, social media, emails, and then they also want to use advertising. So all this depends on you and how you plan to go about that for your nonprofit. Then finally, they have how they are going to evaluate. So the data analytics to measure would be the website traffic, monthly donations, since their focus is on getting donors for the nonprofit, also social media engagement, click-through rates, and the email opens that they've had. All of these are what they are going to basically be looking at for their nonprofit organization. So this is just a sample, like if we have this on a document, it's just like a one-pager document that simply shows us everything we need to do. There can be something more comprehensive, something more robust, depending on your organization. But as usual, I'll say start small, start simple, and just go with what you have at the moment so that you don't keep procrastinating and not work with this content strategy at all. Um, as usual, at the end of this video or in the description of this video, pardon me, you're going to find the links to the downloadables, the content strategy template, the content calendar template that you can use for your nonprofit. Let me know what you think about this video, if it helped you. If you have any questions, also feel free to drop in the comment section. Thank you so much. Do not forget to share, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Bye.